When I was 20 some odd years old, I used to go to Colville a lot with the old boys, and I was down there, and there was this Ronnie Neal, and he kind of liked me, and Stogie, and there was Dillinger, and Linda used to go with Dillinger, and Ronnie Neal said, well, I got a woman that would really like to go with you. I said, wow, who was that? And he said, well, the Golden Green Ball's this week. I'll see if you'll go and you can come there and meet her. So I said, okay. And I had no idea who she was. And so of course I got all dressed up really nice and went down to the dance hall in Colville and went in there, and Ronnie said, that woman over there, I'm getting lined up. And then my mouth went, I know it did. I could see it right now. My mouth was wide open. But she was beautiful. And I went up anyway, and she won it. And I went up there, and Ronnie said, well, I want you to do a dance with her. So I'll go get her, bring her over to you, and let you dance with her. So of course I did. Anyway, he let him go get her, and he brought her over to me. And I had no idea that I would ever fall in love again. Wow. And she is the mother to all of my kids. We used to bale hay. She had the 3 kids, Jill, Julie, and Darlene, sitting on the tractor with her. And that tractor going just like this here. And the kids were asleep most of the time.
The day before, then we're in the middle of moving the pipe. Mom comes pulling up and she says, get in, we're going up the canyon. And we're like, this never happens. And so we got in, and we went up to Trial Lake. And when we got up there, then her and Leona went into the camper and they locked the door. And we thought it was great. We were playing around and everything, and it had been quite a while. And pretty soon we kind of got bored, and we're like, oh, what are they doing in there, But when they came out, their eyes were red. They'd both been crying, and we didn't know what was going on.
She used to work in the mine, and she said, well, in the mine, they don't want you to take any time off. She told me to go to work that morning and said, okay. Because she said, you can't miss any more days, though, can you?
And I lived in St. George, and we was planning on going up for the 24th of July. It's a big celebration in Utah. So I have the car all packed and everything. Greg comes out and he says, we're not going. What are you talking about? And he says, we can't afford to go up there.
I was taking Roy down to his classes at school because I used to push him all over and take him to school. We were up at Utah State. I told Roy down, I says, this is really weird, but I just feel like I have no energy, or I just felt icky.
Mom had said if I don't make it home, she'd gone on the trek with John, and she said if I don't make it home for some reason, will you just go over to the post office and do my job, clean the post office.
I went to work in the mine, and all they did was that day, they had a fire inside, so they had us all set on the station all day long, doing nothing.
Listen, she didn't come home, so I just went over and I walked in, and the people in the post office are like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, well, Mom said if she didn't make it home, I was supposed to come to her work, and I'd helped her enough that I knew what to do.
I went out, and my boss come up to me and said, you want on the telephone?
we had been lighting firecrackers on the porch. And the cop pulls up in front of the house and comes up to the door, and I thought, oh no, we're in trouble. We got firecrackers all over the porch. And then he asked for Dad or Jill. And I said, Jill's not here. But he's like, where is she? And I said, she's at the post office.
So I went in there and started working, and a few minutes later, I mean, they just were so funny in the post office. Now I know why, but anyway, a few minutes later, they said, you wanted at the counter. So I walked up the counter, and here's the Leon, what was his name? Leon Wild up at the counter. And he said, can you step outside with me? And he's a sheriff, and I'm like, what in the world did I do on the way over here from our house to the post office? You know, I was thinking, oh my God.
So I went to work, and I'm working, and everybody says, you need to go check your schedule. You need to go check your schedule. So in my head, I'm thinking, what's going on? Why is the schedule changing at work?
And so I step around the corner, and he goes, can you step out to my car? And I'm like, okay. And I'm scared to death because, anyway, we played with the police officers, but I never had somebody actually come find me.
So then we went home after he got done with his classes, and he had the tutor over to our house. Then we got a phone call, and I answered it, and I didn't know who it was. They asked for Roy Don. And it was a lady, I think it was Aunt Reva that called him. And so he talked on the phone, then he got off the phone, and he asked his tutor to leave, because he needed to be alone with me, and I'm like, this is really weird. So then she left.
So get in the car, and Greg says, gotta tell you something. Oh my heck, he's cheating on me. That's what I thought.
So I got home and I just figured it wasn't the bosses, Maybe they're gonna tell me I'm gonna be transferred or something. So I picked up the telephone, and that guy says, on the other end says, your wife is dead, and your son is in Evanston in the hospital.
He says, your mom was killed today.
And then he says, your mom was in an accident and died, and John's in the hospital pretty banged up.
And he goes, your mother was killed today. And I said, not my mom. And he said, it was your mom. And I said, no, not my mom. 3 times he had to repeat. This great big old man grabs me and just hugs it. He goes, you ready to go tell your family? I'm like, what?
Didn't believe him. I think I was just totally in disbelief that this was really what was going on.
I start bawling, and then all of a sudden I just got this kind of warm feeling that come over me. And I just knew that it was going to be okay.
It just made me sick. I don't know, I never had. That was the worst thing when I heard she was killed. That killed me off. I would have died too.
Then later I found out the people in the post office had known all day, and they were trying to find us to tell us, let us know. So I come home, takes me in the car, and the kids are out on the trampoline when they pulled up.
So of course I jump in the car and take off right from work and take off to Evanston, see John.
When you guys pulled up, you sat out in front of the house for quite a while in the cop car, and we were peeking out the window.
And I just remember they came in and they were laughing because I'm in the police car, goofing off. And well, Caitlin comes up on my lap. She was laughing, then she looks at me. What's the matter, Jill?
Finally, you guys started getting out, and so we thought, okay, I guess we'll go out. So we went walking out there, and you were kind of crying, and I said, and the horse had gotten out. Do you remember that? The horse had gotten out that day, and I said, what's the matter? Did the horse get hit? I did, and you just started just crying and everything. And then when you told us, then I was just like in shock, and all I could think is, I don't have a mom. I don't have a mom.
In the meantime, I sent John to this. Well, anyway, they sent him. And I drove all the way over the hill to Evanston and had to come back the other way. Oh, all night long I was worried. And they said, John is not very good.
I wanted to go see John. And Linda says, you can't go in there. We can't send her in there bawling like this in to see John. And the nurse come and she says, get her in there. John needs to bawl and cry. So she said that would be the best thing for him. So we went in there.
We'd just left the dump station up by Mirror Lake and was headed back probably to Mirror Lake. So it was down by Bear River Service. And yeah, and so we dumped and back in. So I just, I just kind of kick back and usually fall asleep. And the next thing I know, people are around me and they're cutting my clothes off. And I'm going, these are because I new pair of pants. And they were cutting my pants off, and they kept telling me, we'll buy you a new pair and stuff. I never have got them yet. They cut my boots off and cut my pants off and stuff, and there's ladies standing around there, and I wasn't too happy about it. But they kept telling me not to move, and I said, where's Mom? Where's Mom? And nobody would ever answer me, and I'd keep saying, where's Mom? Where's Mom? And no one would ever answer me. And then they came to, put the scoop stretcher under me, and they pinched my back in there, and they put me in the ambulance. And I can remember the bright lights, and then I would be out. It was kind of in and out. And I remember the bright lights, and then the bright lights again, and the ambulance had quit, so they had to get another ambulance to take me. And then after that, I don't remember anything.
There was Daddy with two guys on the sides of him, helping him in the house. He was so weak, and was carrying him in his just pill as it goes.
And I got down there, and oh my God, I about killed me off.
When we'd see Dad, it was like he didn't want us to leave. Like, Dad, we gotta go home, we gotta pay our bills and stuff. He's like, I'll pay your bills, I'll do whatever. He just wanted, I think he wanted us to stay.
We were coming, walking out of the post office. We'd gone to get the mail or something, I guess. And we were walking out of the post office, and he said, Jill, you gotta go to college or something. And I said, I can't leave. I can't leave Kaylin and Jill. They said, I can't leave you guys. And he said, your mom said you see that she goes to college. Oh. And so he said, I know you gotta go. That's where I met my sweet husband, and I got a good little daughter taking this camera picture.
Probably a day or two before Mom's funeral. And Dad came in and told me, and I said, I already knew. And we just sit there and bawled and
Now, when we were at the funeral, there was a great big line out around the church house and back in.
But there was more people at that funeral than any funeral they ever had up there.
You know what Mama used to always tell me? She says, when I die, I'm going to be hit head on. I'm going to have a head on. She's going to have a head on collision.
Aunt Leona pulled me aside and she said, Jill, your mom knew she had to go. She didn't want to leave you kids. But she knew she had to go, and that's what they were talking about up the night when you're in the trailer. And so she knew.
And another thing that she says when they were in the trailer is she says, I can't wait to get to heaven so I can be a woman. That's what Aunt Leona meant, because she was a farm girl. Too. I know. That's what Aunt Leona says. Can't wait to get to heaven.
Mom. I can just still picture us on the end of our bed in the bedroom, and she said, you will see the day where you will have a black president.
When I was going up over there, I couldn't believe anybody going uphill having a rollover.
Because she went end over end.
Going uphill and not going downhill, going uphill. And this year, one day when I was down looking at the truck, I seen this here little thing of lip salve,
Savix or something.
and it was off of it. And so I know what she was doing because she really.
But I honestly believe that she's seen something, and that's when she overcorrected.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think that's what happened.
I don't know, because at first they wondered if there was a blowout, but they said all the
There was
tires
no
were
tire
still-
blew out, no
the
nothing.
tires were still.
Daddy told me, he said it bothered me because he felt like he had killed Mama.
I know I did.
And so,
Because I thought, well, why didn't I stay home?
You have to make a living.
so he said he'd go sit up on the road where it happened a lot. And he said I sat there and the vision opened to my mind and I saw her putting lip stuff on and went off the side of the road, overcorrected, and went in.
Anytime I want to talk about your mom, the thing I remember most was she was never a lazy woman. She would go out and get on tractors. She would go out and help me haul hay. She would get out and help me go milk cows. She'd get her eggs before she came down to the milk barn to help me milk.
Well, you deserve it.
She was a workaholic.
She was. She
And,
taught us good.
and one thing I always tell everybody, when she get on the baler, she would have them 3 little girls on her lap and sat,
I still wonder how she held us, but we were all on there.
yes, yeah. And how she did it, I don't know. I couldn't know what about it. All of you kids, we had the best mom I think that ever lived. And what I wouldn't give to have her here with me right now. I loved her too much. And I know what she loved all you kids. And I'm sure she loved your grandkids and who you're married to or whatever. She was just that kind of a woman that would forgive and forget. And I hope that someday I can say I was that good of a man, but I know I never will be able to.
Oh, look. Look what you've done. Kept us all together. Oh.
I think she loved the kids more than anything else. I think your mother would have been satisfied with everything that
Oh, yeah.
the kids had done. And anyway, she was forgiving and she helped anybody that was. The mother of my kids was the most important thing in my life that I've ever had. And I still love her, and I think that all my kids love her, and I don't know how they could help it. She was just so good there, I love you. And she still has a place right here for me. I mean, I have a place right here for her.